Hey everyone, so a couple of things I'm quite excited about that are coming up soon. So I've got probably less than 3 weeks now until I get married to my fiance, Nicola. So yeah, I'm dead excited about that, to finally get to marry the woman of my dreams. We've actually been going to this marriage preparation course recently, and it was something I was quite skeptical about at first, and I sort of resented that. I was sort of resenting that I had to go to some course to learn how to be a good husband to somebody that I really want to marry. But to be honest, it's been really quite good for me. I've quite enjoyed it, to be honest, and I've learnt a lot. Learnt a lot about her and so on, and learnt a lot about myself. So I think eventually I'm gonna have to do some kind of video really about her, which is probably long overdue, really. Yeah, so there's been lots of good stuff happening in terms of Depeche Mode are back, and last Sunday they were playing the Barrowlands in Glasgow for the Six Music Festival, so I was watching that live online, and I'm really excited that I get to see them in June at the Olympic Stadium, and it'll be my first time at that venue. Andrew Scarborough is coming to the wedding as well in a few weeks, so it'll be my first chance to actually meet the guy. And I'm also excited about what the future brings. It could be bringing, because ever since what happened to me last year, I've become much more interested in advances in medicine and just general technology. And a couple of months ago I came across the SENS Foundation. Now the SENS Foundation is something that's headed up by Dr. Aubrey de Grey, and this is all something that's happening in California, and it is just the most exciting advance in medical technology that I've ever known, and the whole principle behind it I find incredible, because the idea is basically to prolong human life, and the way they are justifying that is brilliant. It's genius, because, well, we all know that there is so much skepticism about why life should be prolonged, and there is a lot of forced acceptance in the status quo that we live on average to about 85 years. But a lot of the time people are justifying that because they see it as inevitable. But at the SENS Foundation, they're tackling aging as a disease, which is what it is, because people don't die because they are old. People die because they get sick from wear and tear, the diseases of old age. You don't die just because you happen to be 100 years old. You die because you've had probably atherosclerosis, or maybe you've got Alzheimer's. Because the simple fact is, if you don't die of cancer, then you will die of Alzheimer's eventually, because having Alzheimer's is a symptom of living a long time. And the longer you live, the more you move, the more you smile, unfortunately, the more you breathe. You'll breathe. Every time you breathe, you bring in free radicals, and the build-up of this can shorten your telomerase, which are the little caps on there. So imagine this is like a chromosome, like say it's, you know, it looks like that, and on the ends of my fingers there would be these little caps, and they're the telomerase. Now when they get shorter, your genes basically start to come apart, and things start to go wrong with the body, and eventually you get into a situation with aging where it's a bit like a game of whack-a-mole, where you're basically treating one symptom after another. Like you go through a sickness and then that's sorted, but then something else pops up, something else has gone wrong because the telomerase have degraded. So everything they're doing at the SENS Foundation is based on finding technology to repair the damage that is accumulating as you get older. And I think that that is an absolutely brilliant thing and an absolutely genius way to prolong human life. And I believe that it is a good thing to prolong human life, and I'm not biased because last year I was given a terminal diagnosis of cancer at the age of 30. If you look at the price/performance index of computing, and you look at that chart and you see the progress that's being made. So through the last 100 years, computation has constantly improved, and the price has constantly gone down as it's improved. And so we've gone through world wars. We've had 2 world wars. We've had multiple recessions and financial crisis, but that chart has never dipped during those bad events. For example, 1980 was pretty much the start of the AIDS crisis, and but that didn't stop the Osborne 1 computer being developed, which was, and eventually a version of that was used to diagnose and find the virus that was causing this, which eventually led to the treatments that are around today that stop it being a death sentence. So you could go through almost anything. You could go through a pandemic, you could go through epidemics and so on, but the price versus performance index is always going to improve. It improves exponentially. You may have heard of modern philosophers like Ray Kurzweil. And yeah, Ray Kurzweil and Aubrey de Grey at the moment are probably my biggest heroes. I just love what they're trying to do, and I love the dynamism and the effort to bring and speed up the progress of reaching the singularity, which is the point in which, say, AI becomes more intelligent than the human brain. So that's something that is definitely on the horizon, because we now have self-driving cars which are learning off each other. So we have, for example, say a self-driving car gets into an accident, or there's some form of hazard that it's learned from. It's not just the one car that found that learns, it's the whole network of the cars that learn that problem that the one car found. Now imagine if people worked that way. Imagine if somebody in Kuala Lumpur at the moment has found some problem, and we all know what that problem is, and we've all learnt how to avoid it. That's what these self-driving cars are doing. So in a way, the singularity has already started, because computers are doing things that are better than what us humans, us biological humans, can do. Now, to me, this is incredibly exciting, and I welcome anything to do with the singularity, and I'm not afraid of the singularity. I find a lot of the skepticism and the arguments against it are kind of pitiful, to be honest. And there's a lot of bullshit in there as well. For example, when people say you don't want to stop aging or prolong human life because that would mean there'd be too many humans and we'd run out of resources. Well, again, 3D printing is part of the singularity, and with that comes abundance. Again, resources are not just isolated to Earth. Part of the singularity is to become a multi-planet species. So this, I know that Peter Diamandis from the Singularity University has started a company which is looking at mining asteroids for resources. So these are real things that are in the planning. And thanks to people like Elon Musk and companies like SpaceX, we are just getting closer and closer to having sustainable technology that is getting cheaper and cheaper thanks to renewable rocket technology, on reaching these goals which, say, even 5 years ago seemed impossible. But this is why I believe we're starting to go into the singularity now, because all this technology is growing so exponentially that something that seems outlandish and impossible that I'm saying now, if you do just a little bit of research, might actually seem very possible tomorrow. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it there for this vlog. I'm going to try and get... I did promise you that I'd bring some CG videos forward, but there's a work-life balance that I need to perfect in order to increase my productivity with CG at the moment. And also I'm very busy with the wedding coming up, so hopefully after the wedding I'll have some more scientific CG related videos to show you. It's a year ago today. This would be the penultimate day of when radiotherapy finished for me. So I'll probably try to do another vlog tomorrow about when it actually ended. I've received an incredible amount of support since doing those first initial vlogs. I'm very happy to still be here and to still be in remission, free of any disease. The scans are clear and I'm feeling pretty good. Just having to deal with the inflammation caused by that radiotherapy, so I still have to be careful and make sure that my seizure threshold remains high. But I'm finding new ways to improve that all the time. For example, I'm using ghee butter now as well. Well, using it again as I find that it raises my seizure threshold. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for all your lovely support this year. Hope to see some of you out on the Depeche Mode tour. Yeah, check out the Singularity. Type it in on YouTube. Look at people like Ray Kurzweil, all breeds are great. Check out the SENS Foundation, and if you have lots of money, please just give it all to them, because that's the best thing that you can do in the world. Okay, see ya!